Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Boxing Law on the Beltway. Our news and notes for this week, and have a lot of things to talk about this week. We've got the little recap of last Saturday's events in the Turning Stone Casino and Resort in Verona, New York, and we also have a preview of the November 4th card that'll be at Ashburn in Ashburn, Virginia, as well as a full look at the November schedule. It is big this month, so we have a lot of fun with that. We also have a very interesting article we want to share with you from Ring Magazine about the best boxers in the United States ages 30 and under, and one Beltway boxer made a list. They talked about a number of others around that list as well. We'll talk more about that during this podcast. And Beltway Boxing News and Notes brought to you by real-time pain relief. From boxers to ballerinas, from shoulder pain to muscle strain and everything in between, Boxing Law on the Beltway recommends real-time pain relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. You go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of real-time pain relief, you get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. Well, let's start our look with the card that took place this past Saturday at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York. And Beltway boxers went 2 for 3 on that card. And in the co-feature that was televised on HBO, Forestville, Maryland, middleweight, Lantis Slizer Fox, he lost for the first time in his pro career. He lost a 12-round unanimous decision to undefeated former world champion and U.S. Olympian Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Now, we found out later on in the week that Fox had separated his shoulder in the first round. In fact, he basically tore his rotator cuff. And he was never in the contest because of that. Did not want to quit. Really didn't tell his father that his shoulder was hurting as bad as it was. According to my partner, Juan Marshall, he had talked to Troy Fox, and basically he didn't tell him. Lantis didn't tell him that his shoulder was hurt as badly as it was. And so Fox, to his credit, persevered. He tried hard to get involved and actually got credit for a flash knockdown in the 7th round. But if you look at the replay, Andrade slipped, and Fox really did not land a punch in that exchange. But Fox ended up losing by scores of 118-110, 118-109, and slightly surprising 116-111. I thought Fox did not really do much in the battle. He couldn't do anything with a dislocated left shoulder. He really couldn't do much in there. So just give him credit for surviving the entire 12 rounds in that situation and was not knocked down. So Fox is now 23-1-1, 11 KOs, and Andre fighting his first bout at middleweight. He rises now to 26-0, 16 KOs. So tough break, but again, Fox, as we know him, will come back in that situation. Again, it was an injury more than anything else. On the undercard of the card in New York, Lamont Roach Jr. and Demetrius Big Meats Ballard both won their bouts in their first bout without the services of their late trainer, Bernard Roach. And by the way, just as an aside, folks, Bernard Roach's funeral was Friday, as we recorded this yesterday. His wake was Thursday. And I got to tell you real quickly, the place was packed on both days. I didn't go to the funeral. I saw the funeral. Actually, one of our local TV stations actually did a story on the funeral. This is how important it was. And the place was packed. And I know I got to the wake during the evening as wake was actually coming to a close. It was still packed that Thursday night. It was incredible. A true tribute, a great tribute to a great man in Bernard Roach. So, again, this is still a very hard, and we're still reeling from his loss. But be that as it may, Lamont Roach Jr. and Big Meats Ballard, Demetrius Ballard, both won their bouts. Roach won by first round TKO when his opponent, Luis Hinojosa of the Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, he hurt his ankle. He stepped kind of awkwardly on the canvas, and after consulting with the ringside doctors, they waved the bout off at 204. So Roach is now 15-0, 6 KOs. Hinojosa falls to 30-13, 18 KOs. Meanwhile, Demetrius Ballard won a 10-round unanimous decision over very tough Jaime Zarco Solario of San Quentin, Mexico. Ballard was able to land the better punches throughout the bout, but Solario, he just was not going anywhere. And he was very awkward throughout that bout. Ballard ended up winning the scores by 98-92 and 99-91 twice. He's now 18-0, 12 KOs. Solario drops to 11-3 and 2 with 8 KOs. So that's the results from this past Saturday, 1 week ago, with the bouts. Again, Beltway boxers. Fox gave a game performance, and Roach and Ballard both won their bouts. By the way, speaking of the Fox bout against Andrade, apparently a lot of people tuned into that bout on HBO's Boxing After Dark, because according to a joint press release from Banner Promotions, they co-promoted the contest, and Star Boxing, who's the promoter for Demetrius Andrade, the bout drew a peak number of 685,000 viewers, which is more than the main event drew on that card. The main event was the WBA Super Featherweight Championship between the now new champion Alberto Machado and the former champion Jezreel Corrales. Of course, Corrales lost the championship on the scales. He came in 4 pounds overweight, but Machado ended up winning the bout anyway, and he also outdrew an opening bout on the telecast. It was a telecast, I believe it's from either Ireland or England during that bout. But the number of viewers, 685,000 viewers, also significant when you look at some of the other sports that were on TV at the time the Andrade Fox bout started. This included the 2 college football games between Penn State and Michigan, and Notre Dame and USC, plus Game 7 of the American League Championship Series between the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees. So that is huge. That is huge. I mean, a lot of that is going to be credited to Andre because of his win and his name, but Lantez Fox had a hand in it too, and they came to see both boxers. Of course, a lot of turnout, probably from a lot of viewership from the Washington D.C. Beltway area. So that contributed to it, and I think that's just a great situation for that. So that's good to see. And when they keep telling people boxing is dead, you can't go into that. You can't fall down that road. And we're going to show you why later on with a big schedule we have coming up in the month of November. And actually, that schedule begins on Saturday, November 4th, 1 week from today, as we go to the Silver Eagle Group Arena in Ashburn, Virginia. Our very first appearance there. The Silver Eagle Group Arena is located at 44620 Guilford Drive in Ashburn. So our first location there, this is going to be a card by Shabazz Brothers Promotions. And we're looking for their good win on card on that one. Now, Ashburn's own Tori Shonuff Nelson scheduled to headline the card, and the multi-division world champion, 2-time Beltway Boxer of the Year. Her record 16-0-3, 1 KO. She's still looking for an opponent for this bout. This will be in the super middleweight division, and it's scheduled for 10 rounds. So hopefully, Tori Nelson, I tell you, a lot of people will be in attendance that night, specifically to see Tori Nelson. What a great person she has been, great role model for a lot of young ladies in that area and around the Beltway area. And she's just done great things, and we really hope she's on this card, because this will almost guarantee a sellout that night at the Silver Eagle Group Arena. But another multi-division title holder will be on the card, and that's Washington, D.C. flyweight Tarashia Lady Tiger Douglas, and she'll be in a 10-round co-feature bout against Crystal Hoy of Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, Douglas is 12-1, 5 KOs. She last fought on June 17th, won a 4th-round TKO over previously undefeated Ebony Rivera. Boy, she looked good in this bout. That was at the Burns Arena in Baltimore, and she won the vacant UBF Super Flyweight Championship on that card. Hoy is 5-7-4, 2 KOs, but she has not fought since she lost a 10-round majority decision to Heather Hardy. That was back in October of 2014 in New York City. Of course, Heather Hardy went on to fight MMA, and I heard she just got beat pretty badly in her last outcome. So Crystal Hoy will be Douglas's opponent, 10-round co-feature bout on that card. A lot of Baltimore boxers on this card. Undefeated Baltimore welterweight Malik Iceman Hawkins will be there. He'll be in a scheduled 8-round contest against a veteran by the name of Juan Jesus Rivera of Aguas Calientes, Mexico. Hawkins is 11-0, 8 KOs. He scored a 2nd-round stoppage of Carlos Soto on April 14th. That was at the MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Rivera is 28-18, 18 KOs. He'll be trying to break a 4-bout losing streak that includes a 1st-round knockout loss to Travell Mazion on April 20th in Verona, New York. Now, in another 8-round contest, Baltimore light heavyweight Travis Severe Reeves. He'll battle another veteran from Aguascalientes, Mexico. His name, Fernando El Huracan, or the Hurricane, Castañeda. Reeves is 15-2-2, 7 KOs. He has won 12 bouts in a row, and that includes the bouts where he won the Maryland State Cruiserweight title and the USBO Light Heavyweight Championship. He's been on a serious roll. And his last outing, he won by 4th round disqualification over Josue Abando. That was on that same DeBurns Arena card on June 17th. Castañeda is 24-12 with 15 KOs. He's lost 2 straight, both to undefeated boxers, including dropping a 10-round unanimous decision to Sean Monahan on December 10th in Omaha, Nebraska. So that's Travis Severe Reeves against Fernando Castañeda. Now, both sons of former undisputed world heavyweight champion and, of course, Baltimore native Hasim Rahman Sr. will both be in action on this card. Hasim Rahman Jr., who's known as Gold-Blooded Rahman, he'll take on James Jones of Nashville, Tennessee in a 4-round bout. Rahman Jr., he last actually fought on April 21st in Warren, Michigan, scored a first-round knockout over Demetrius Shaw. Both his wins have come by first-round knockout. Now, Rahman Jr. was scheduled to compete in Durham, North Carolina on October 19th, but his opponent decided he didn't want to fight. And he came to the ring, then he left, then he came back to the ring, then he left, and he left for good. It was really, really bizarre. But he won't have to worry about that with James Jones. James Jones will come to fight. He is 4-11 with 3 KOs. He faces a Beltway boxer for the 2nd straight time and the 5th time overall. Last time he was in the ring, Jones lost to Sam Crossett by 4th round TKO on July 15th at the Sphinx Club in Washington, D.C. And Jones has also lost to Beltway boxers Nick Kisner, Shaborn Riles, and Greg Newby. So that'll be a good bout, 4-round bout. Hasim Rahman Jr. against James Jones. And then in a Beltway contest, Sharif C3 Rahman will be in a 4-round bout against Ashburn's own Carlos Cruz. Rahman is also 2-0. Sharif Rahman is also 2-0, 2 KOs. He returned after an almost 2-year absence. He made his pro debut back in 2015, had not fought again until September 30th when he scored a first-round TKO over Kurt Johnson in Kansas City, Kansas. Cruz won his pro debut in June of 2016, but he's lost 2 decisions since, including a 4-round unanimous decision to George Shepard. That was back on August 12th at the Masonic Temple in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, in another all-Beltway matchup in the lightweight division, undefeated Ashburn resident Seth Killer B. Billis will be on the card. He'll take on DC's Lamont White in a 6-round matchup. Billups is 9-0, 6 KOs. He won a 6-round unanimous decision over Rynell Griffin on that Masonic Temple card on August 12th in Norfolk. White is 1-10, 1 KO. Now, he won a bout in May. He beat Roger Belch at that Masonic Temple card, but he's lost 3 straight since then, including a 4-round unanimous decision over Osvaldo Morales in his last bout on September 9th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Now, White has fought 11 times. He has never been knocked down in any bout he's been in. So that's something Seth Billups may try to do in this contest. White, meanwhile, will compete for the 7th time in 2017. And also on this card, we have undefeated Lynn, Massachusetts super middleweight Ronald Akeem Ellis. He'll take on the very tough and always loves to fight in the Beltway, Tennille Spider Goyko of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in an 8-round bout. Now, Ellis is, of course, one of the Fighting Ellis family with twins Rashidi and Rashida Ellis. Great family of boxers there. He's 14-0-1, 10 KOs. He last fought on January 20th in Atlantic City, New Jersey, won an 8-round unanimous decision over Christopher Brooker. Now, Ellis's draw came against Jerry Odom. That was back in February of 2016, and now both of them are promoted by the same person, by the way. Meanwhile, Goyko is 9-10-1, 4 KOs. He'll look to bounce back after an 8-round unanimous decision loss to Travis Reeves on April 14th in Oxon Hill, Maryland. That's one of the few bouts where Goyko did not look great in a bout against a Beltway boxer. He's fought the likes of Jeremy Trussell. He knocked him out. He fought Devon Nicholson, almost beat him. And, of course, he beat Jerry Odom back in November 2016 in Philadelphia. He scored a 5th-round stoppage against him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this bout because, again, if Ellis comes in there with the wrong attitude, Goyko will beat him. So we'll see. But Ellis, I would think, would not come in there underestimating his opponent, Tennille Gorko, on that card. So we'll see what happens. That'll be Saturday, November 4th, and that'll be at the Silver Eagle Group Arena in Ashburn, Virginia. That's located once again at 44620 Guilford Drive in Ashburn, Virginia. Now, it's also known as the Silver Eagle Gun Arena as well, because they do have a shooting range there. But I think for our purposes, it is the Silver Eagle Group Arena. And that card kicks off what should be an outstanding November schedule coming up. We're going to go through this just bout by bout. We're not going to do a full preview, but we're going to give you an idea of what's going on these cards. First of all, we have November 4th. Then on Saturday, November 11th, Mike Yes Indeed Reed has arguably the biggest bout of his career when he takes on Jose Carlos Ramirez, and that'll be for Ramirez's WBC Continental America Super Lightweight Championship, and it could be that a title shot may loom based on this bout. Now, this bout will be at the Save Mart Arena in Fresno, California. That is Ramirez's hometown, by the way. And apparently Mike Reed has been calling out Jose Carlos Ramirez throughout his career, so to speak. And this is about that Reed seems to have wanted in this situation. So he's got it now, and it will be a co-feature bout that will be on ESPN. Okay, that's the same card as Artur Beterbeyev's card coming up on that same day. So that is Saturday, November 11th in the Save Mart Arena in Fresno, California. Mike Reed, 10-round bout against Jose Carlos Ramirez, and Ramirez's WBC Continental America Super Lightweight Championship will be on the line. We'll give you more detail about that in our next podcast. Also on Saturday, November 11th, Antoine Douglas, Action Douglas, will be in a 10-round bout against an opponent to be determined. That'll be at the Atrium Arena in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Antoine Douglas will be back on track since his first loss. He seems to be doing very, very well as of late. So we'll see what happens as his bout continues, as his career continues. Also on Saturday, November 11th, Glenn DeZern, scheduled to be on an 8-round contest against Jesse Angel Hernandez. That'll be at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, Long Island, New York. So Glenn DeZern will be continuing his winning ways. Of course, he has been a fan-friendly TV fighter since his win and his draw. His win against Leroy Davila at the MGM National Harbor in Oxon Hill, Maryland. And, of course, his draw against Adam Lopez after that. Both were tough bouts. Glenn DeZern fought very well in both bouts. And now he's got this bout coming up against Jesse Angel Hernandez. That'll be on Saturday, November 11th. Then on Friday, November 17th, we have an amateur boxing card coming up, Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Now, this card now has some added significance. We'll talk more about this in the next week or so. But they're going to honor a woman. I believe her name was Brenda Clark. I think that's her name. I'll double check that and make sure about that next week. But we just read about this today, as a matter of fact. She passed away this morning as we record this. It's Saturday morning of cancer. She was just 37 years old. And I think she has 2 children, one coming into high school, actually going out of high school into college at the end of this year. And also she has a granddaughter as well. And she passed away because of breast cancer. And they're trying to raise money for her family. So that's going to be a big part of this card coming up on Friday, November 17th. That'll be at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. We'll talk more about this next week as well. But again, our condolences to Miss Clark. Also on Friday, November 17th, Kareem Remo Martin on a card. Scheduled to be an 8-round bout against Ryan Carl at the Dort Federal Event Center in Flint, Michigan. This card is scheduled to be shown on Fox Sports 1, FS1. So Kareem Martin trying to get back on track after his loss to David Grayton. And so he is trying to get going there. So that'll be Friday, November 17th. Kareem Remo Martin taking on Ryan Carl is his name, Ryan Carl, at the Dort Federal Event Center in Flint, Michigan. Once again, this card will be shown on FS1. I'm not sure if Martin's bout will make telecast. We'll see what happens there. The only other time we'll be in the area as far as Beltway boxing concerned will be in another new location. That'll be at the Merrick Recreation Center. That's on 4th Street in Southeast D.C. We'll give you the address about that next week. But that'll be a boxing card. I believe that'll be the same folks who did the card at the Howard Theater will be handling that card. And among the boxers scheduled to appear on that card, Our first appearance since his pro debut for Jonathan Bad Badger Baxter. He'll be back in the area for the very first time. He made his pro debut in the area, but he's fought primarily in North Carolina, South Carolina, and in Georgia. So he's coming back to D.C. and now on that card, his cousin is coming with him. That's Quentin Taylor. He won his pro debut recently. Also scheduled to be on the card, Tierra Brown, debuting Jovan Davis, and Jarrell Hellrell Harris will be on that card. That'll be on Saturday, November 18th at the Merrick Recreation Center in D.C. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Also on Saturday, November 18th, DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley, and I believe this is his son, Derek Brent Corley. They're on a card at the Crossroads Arena in Corinth, Mississippi. That's on Saturday, November 18th. So we'll see what happens with it. They don't have opponents yet for that bout. Now, Tuesday, November 21st, Michael the Professor Fox will be on an 8-round card against Marlon Aguas at the Sands Bethlehem Event Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That bout was originally scheduled for September of this year, September 29th, I believe it was. So this bout will take place now. And again, I think this is one of the tougher bouts that Michael will have. And I think this is a bout that if he wins, he'll make a statement in the welterweight division. And hopefully he'll go on to bigger and better things from there. So that's on Tuesday, November 21st at the Sands Bethlehem Event Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Then on Tuesday, November 21st, David Day Grayton, Antonio Russell, and Antoine Russell. They're all going to be on bouts at the Coliseum in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Grayton's bout against Miguel Cruz, that'll be on the telecast on FS1 there as well. So Grayton, Antoine, and Antonio and Antoine do not have opponents yet for that card. We'll give you an update on that as soon as we get it. But David Grayton's bout against Miguel Cruz, that'll be part of, I believe, a triple header on that FS1 telecast on Tuesday, November 21st. So that is the schedule. Of course, bouts are subject to change without notice. We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, that's a loaded November schedule we have going on. And we wish all the Beltway boxers that are participating on that card, on that schedule, the very best. And, of course, we'll be on the air with the November 4th card. I believe that card is scheduled to start around 7 o'clock. We'll get a finalization of that one and be on the air live on the Beltway Boxing, Boxing on Beltway Google app for Android, on Spreaker.com, and on iHeartRadio.com. Of course, you can download the app for free. Tell your friends to download the app for free and subscribe to the pages on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio.com. Now, before we go, Ring Magazine this month, and this is the magazine with Mikey Garcia on the cover, most recent issue, and they had a very interesting article in there about the top 10 best boxers from the United States who are 30 years old or under. And boxers like both Garcias, Mikey and Danny were there. No relation, of course, but Mike and Danny were both there. The Charlo twins were part of that. Demetrius Andrade was in that list. And at number 7 on that list, of course, number 1 was Terrence Crawford, by the way, just FYI. But number 7 on that list was Cabell Heights, Maryland's own Gary Russell Jr. And so that's great. And also, what was also great about the article was that they also talked about a number of Beltway boxers that are kind of hovering around there. Guys like Lamont Peterson, Jared Hurd. They talked about, I believe they talked about Alantez Fox in that one. I'm not sure, but definitely Lamont Peterson, Jared Hurd were two people that were kind of hovering under that top, bubbling under that top 10. But Gary Russell made the top 10. They love his hand speed, of course. They wish he'd fight more. That's definitely. And they also wish, what I think is unique in this situation, that guys would step up to fight him. You know, guys like Lee Selby hasn't stepped up to fight him. And so that's what people are looking for. I think the only person who really wants to fight him is Leo Santa Cruz. So that may happen soon. We don't know. But it's kind of the same situation Mark Johnson came under during his heyday, when a lot of guys just would not fight him. You know, Johnny Tapia, who's now in the Hall of Fame, he wouldn't fight Mark Johnson. Danny Romero would not fight him. He was, again, supposed to fight Michael Carbajal, but Carbajal lost that third bout to Humberto Gonzalez. But Russell seems to be facing a similar situation that a lot of people don't want to fight him right now. So we'll see what happens with him. The other person they talked about was Gervonta Davis, who, even though he lost the lightweight, the super featherweight title on the scales, he could have a future at lightweight. I think he's going to have a future at lightweight and do very well there. So, these are the guys that the boxing world at large are talking about in the Beltway. And it gives you an idea what kind of great talent we do have in the Beltway. Now, the question is, though, have we plateaued? Okay. I think November's schedule will give us a big idea of whether or not we have plateaued as an area. Now, we haven't had a Beltway boxing card at the MGM National Harbor since May, and a lot of people, May 20th, and a lot of people have asked me, why is that the case? And I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. I have no idea why there's been no boxing at a place that is tailor-made for professional boxing in our area. Why there's not been more cards there since May 20th, I do not know. And again, we've had some situations where we've had bouts and local bouts, and I'm not local bouts, sorry, local boxers fight on national television, and for whatever reason they haven't been able to do the job. Okay, we have a number of guys that could be on TV. Mike Reed would definitely be on TV. Kareem Martin could be on TV. Definitely trying to think of who the last person was I just mentioned. Definitely David Grayton will be on TV. So we have situations plus other big bouts for guys like Glenda Zern, Antoine Douglas, Kareem Martin. All of them have big bouts. Michael Fox. All of them have big bouts coming up this month. Okay, so if that's the case, and they don't do well in this situation, we may have hit a plateau that we need to get over at some point. Now, of course, in January, this is a little update. We haven't talked about this a little bit, but Lamont Peterson is scheduled to take on Errol Spence for the IBF title, for Errol Spence IBF title, welterweight title in January. I believe it's January the 18th on that one. So, again, that's another opportunity for us, but that's a little bit further down the road. But November is going to be a big month because we will see, based on a number of the performances this coming month, whether or not we have plateaued or whether or not we're still rising. That's a big key. So as we go through this month, stay with us right here on the Box on Beltway Google app for Android and for Beltway Boxing News and Notes. Stay with us to kind of give an overview and give recaps on how well our Beltway boxers do in the month of November. It should be very interesting indeed. No question about that. Once again, Beltway Boxing News and Notes brought to you by Real Time Pain Relief. Go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real Time Pain Relief. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. I'm Gary Digit Williams. Hope to see you 1 week from tonight at the Silver Eagle Group Arena in Ashburn, Virginia for the big card there. We look forward to seeing you live in person. If not, join us right here. Juan Marshall and I will have the call of the Shabazz Brothers card on Saturday, November 4th. Look forward to seeing you there. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody. Always remember to keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. I'm Gary Digit Williams. Take care.